Hello everyone, welcome back to the Two-Line Pass. Today we're going to talk about Detroit Red Wings first round pick, Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. He was the 15th overall selection by the Red Wings in 2024, and he's the highest drafted Norwegian in history. We're going to jump right in and take a look at one of his World Junior games against Slovakia. So he's a whirling dervish right off the start looking for this puck. Early clue that we have some hound dog compete here. So that's just a little clue. Let's just see where that goes. All right, so first thing here, we're going to get a look at the skating a bit. We have good extension here. There's a deep knee bend. We already see signs of a potentially powerful and fast skater here as he matures, which isn't to say he doesn't have plus skating right now. He absolutely does. But it's quite likely there's another gear here too, just based on the stride and the posture. You can almost sense the force of energy that he's applying through his stride. He's a little older, I think, in this draft class, but no matter. He's gonna improve. Okay, folks that know my videos know that I like puck poise, and I hate pucks being thrown away for no reason. This is a winger coming back deep with his back facing the action. This has throwaway or inefficiency written all over it, especially in a big tournament. Not so fast. He takes ice. He doesn't have to, but he does. So here's the deal. Let's say you're not a Pavel Datsyuk type that knows where everyone was, is, and will be, even without putting eyes on them. Brandsegg-Nygard knows where open ice is because he's looking at it. He knows that if anyone is on his back, he can probably shake them by taking some ice first instead of turning immediately into a problem. He doesn't rush. I like this a lot. Now, when he does turn up ice, he's already in stride instead of just coming out of a turn. So he's prepared to not only move north, but also he might have some speed differential deking to do if the situation arises. So here he comes. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Did he fake pass left and then dive right just to get by F1 on the very first shift? We might need that wheelbarrow that Randy Marsh employs in the medicinal marijuana South Park episode at this rate. Look out. He takes another body there on the way in. Not the most advised thing to do to try to deke through the death trap there late in a shift, but at least we know there's some talent there and there's some confidence in what he's doing. So on to the next shift, blows right through the wall on the face-off there and gets 2 for the price of 1 on the reach. And, okay, I mean, roll credits. He's going to be fine. If you want to stick around to the rest of this video, there's some pretty advanced stuff going on here, and it already feels automatic in his game. Let's look at the reverse angle, because this will really show it. So first of all, the confidence of this. Here's how it all sort of starts. Reasonably, Slovakia is going to at least survive this. Like, there's no chance that this ends in a breakaway goal for Norway. There's just no way. The stride has a lot of intentionality. I'm a nut for intentionality. He's not skating straight up the ice as if this puck is lost, and he's defending the D-to-D pass as if he's going to be F1. He wants this puck right now. The arm, you see here, the chicken wing, is immediately out there to help ensure that the Slovak stick can't immediately and efficiently get another touch on the puck. And spoiler, he will not touch the puck again. It's almost a sibling of puck protection here. He's protecting a puck he doesn't even have. Now he has the puck because he has the wheels. He cuts right into the lane of the biggest threat to him keeping the puck. So that's really great. That's high level too. That's a big part of puck protection too in these cases, breaking that stride. Now, every stride was tracking outside to steal that D-man's lunch. So we're carrying outside, we're kind of leaning outside. How's the spatial awareness, and how does it get channeled into proper body mechanics? Just like this. Don't skate towards the boards unless you want to skate into and shoot into the ads at the end wall, right? You want to take a proper arc to the net. Brandsegg-Nygard gets it, and he's back on the trail. Now, I didn't forget about your stick, you purveyor of dust. He throws the puck on the outside hip, builds the wall with the leg extension. That's great. And then to top it all off, he fires it far side corner to go up 1-0. So let's take a quick look at the shot, because he kind of has to hurry with the partner coming over, right? The D partner for Slovakia. Does he close his eyes and just rip it? Oh, no. Once he wastes that Slovak, he's got his eyes on the prize. And if you look at the shooting motion, he does kind of truncate it. He kind of modifies it. He's got a glove in his gut. It's almost across the line of his sternum, which will work against you in terms of shot output, but he's going to run out of room if he tries to do a full extension here. So he pulls this one into the far corner, and I mean pull. He does it with a lot of pace too. He's pulling from the outside foot and sort of up into his shoulders instead of more of a hip torque. It's kind of a shoulder torque, and it's out through the power hand. And then he has the presence of mind to try to dehydrate the goalie in the process. Isn't it fun to see the water bottle get popped again? Now goalies have that koozie or whatever to slide it into. I get why, but it's still sort of old school fun to see. Anyhow, you talk about an unassisted goal. This is it. So now we'll watch this Norway power play go to work here. He's out on the right point. I don't think that's going to be his usage as a North American pro. I think he's more of a half wall or lower presence. I could see him being in a bumper slot for a little bit, but I think there's going to be better options for puck distribution up high in Detroit when the time comes. But hey, not here. So let's see what he can do. Now, this is going to get a little scrambly. He can already sense some danger here, even as a forward. Let's see how interested he's going to be in a play that he had nothing to do with, and we're a minute into the shift. All right, a lot. Okay, so we had several full extension strides in a row, and he gained ground on the player that clearly had a head start. So the wheels are there. But this is a tougher situation than meets the eye, because the puck carrier knows that Norway is in a tizzy to get back here. So there's a lot of potential to use that speed against them. MBN is normally on the other end of this, right? We just saw it, basically. So he applies his knowledge offensively in a mirror. He applies these same concepts to defense. Remember, there's no such thing as offensive hockey sense and defensive hockey sense. There's just hockey sense. You can't be smart in the living room and dumb in the hall. So here's an application of exactly that. Why on earth would MBN slow down here? He's actually lost some ground since the blue line we just crossed. And here's why. He understands what this attacker needs to do to get a better opportunity. Look at the shooting angle. Look at the handedness of the shooter. He wants to cut inside. He wants to use that speed that Norway has gotten to try to catch him. He wants to use it against them. But MBN already knows this. And he's just trying to work out the timing of how he's going to ruin this guy's time. And then here it is, sets up the perfect bracket. He comes through the hands. He gets a piece of the shoulder, nothing big, nothing vicious, no major for laying the lumber, no minor for tripping, just expert application of deceptive principles applied in the converse, right? So, and then here comes MBN with the puck, and he still has the energy to apply deceptive principles in the normal way, right? He turns toes, he attacks heels, while some folks change. He's in a hurry because he knows that Slovak that he just left in the sewer, that he just puck jacked, is way back there somewhere, and there's an even bigger numerical advantage to be had. It's a 5-on-3 basically coming up the ice. Unfortunately, it goes offside. Now, I'll be honest, not a ton happens on this shift. I'll be honest, this player is not in my normal territory. He's playing in Sweden. I'm a US guy, so I really only watched him internationally, and even then, it wasn't super focused. I texted another scout. Doesn't Detroit already have this guy? Referring to some of the other first rounders that I don't feel like they have game breaker upside. Yzerman had a lot of game breakers in Tampa. So far here in this video, maybe that text was premature. There's a lot to like and more development arc than I anticipated. Whether I necessarily see him as a game breaker, I'm not sure if I'm going to get there yet, but there's more plus here than I thought. So just for a second, you can sort of see what I mean with the extension of his shot mechanics versus the goal that he scored where he really had to pull it in a hurry. You can just kind of see just the difference just for a comparison. It's a little bit different of an angle, so maybe not so much. But now here we go. Again, power play. It's easy to look at this and go, whoops, that's a mistake. I wouldn't give him an error on this because there's intentionality to this. There's help back already. It's not like he's the last guy. He has interior help. So force the Slovak into trouble if you can't make a play, and a teammate will help you out. And that's exactly what happens, right? The risk reward here of a steal at the line versus what should be a 1-on-2 against the player whose stride you just broke. I'll take that trade-off anytime. You know, Petter Vesterheim doesn't quite read that was the play there, which is a little surprising because that's normally something he'd be on top of. So he has to play a little bit of catch-up, but no matter. It's extinguished without much issue. Yeah, okay, so we already checked off the compete box, but we can add an exclamation point if we want. He's diving to get pucks away from guys in the neutral zone in the first period. So another underrated here on the forecheck, another underrated or underscouted, I guess, aspect in terms of skating is closing speed. He doesn't quite get to this puck because there's a bump, but you can see him almost get magnetically pulled to the puck or to a hit along the boards because he gets this extra burst in his stride. It makes a big difference, and not everybody has it, but it makes a big difference, especially for players of this type. So we covered a lot of ground in about a period. This game gets out of hand in a hurry. It gets to be like 7-1 Slovakia in the second period. But let's look at what we have. We have high-end skating. We have a real plus in the shooting department, and maybe plus. We have big time compete, plus there. So right there we can sort of cover for some flaws, right? Because all those things, he has good size and strength, so there's no issue there. I think the hockey sense is good, especially from the perspective of just doing his job. I don't think we're looking at any sort of an advanced or super creative playmaker. I don't think we're going to see that coming down the line. I think we're looking at more of a downhill guy. I think he's going to the net. He's in on the forecheck. He's coming back on the back check. He owns the wall. He just does his job, and he does it effectively. We already saw kind of the spatial awareness, which is a big part. I think he knows his limitations too, to a degree, which is a big part of hockey sense. He kind of reminds me of a young Chris Kunitz a little bit, which would be a really nice get at 15th overall, especially in a so-so draft filled with landmines at the top of it. Maybe he isn't going to be a game breaker in space in the traditional way that we think, but one, he has a shot that could really do some damage at the top end. And then two, if he's not a game breaker, he could be a game wrecker, which takes a unique type of prospect in its own right. I don't know. I might like this player more than any of their other recent top picks, just in the context of the upside of those other forwards. This might be better from a likely potential, maybe not highest ceiling, but because maybe Danielson has the highest ceiling, but I don't see how he's going to get there. But from a likely potential, finger quotes around that perspective, maybe this is the guy. They also took that little Swedish D-man, and I lead the small offensive defenseman fan club among scouts, probably to a fault. I don't know how that kid's going to make it work in the NHL. I was surprised to see how high he went. Even if the technicals are supreme, I don't know. I don't see it. It's like if Philip Zadina was a defenseman, kind of. I don't see it. Anyway, but that's for another time maybe. Michael Brandsegg-Nygard, really good shot to make it in the NHL, in my opinion. I think he'll make it work. Middle six, two-way, goal-scoring winger for the Detroit Red Wings. Till next time, thanks for joining me on the Two Line Pass.